happy Saturday. Welcome one and all here to Laurel Park. Keith Fusel and I, of course, the guy to my left, getting things started here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track right away. Of course, we have a wonderful day. We were just having a nice chat about it, weren't we, Keith?
Just gorgeous.
Ugh, right.
Well, they call it a Chamber of Commerce kind of day here in Laurel, Maryland. Sunny skies, close to 80, fast and firm. You know, turf course holding up beautifully. Another doozy of a car. The hits just keep on coming here.
They do.
And yeah, we're ready to dig in. We got a short amount of time, but a lot to get in. So we kind of roll here.
Let's fly then. Let's go right in
card.
this
Yeah.
early pick 5 in this claiming 16. Never went to a mile and 16th on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 3-7 and the AEs 12 through 16. Draw in the 13. Carloon. Keith, you go with the number 8. Awesome strike on top here for Robbie Bales, Victor Carrasco, who had 2 winners yesterday.
Robbie Bales beat me out of a bet last night. He might as well go ahead and beat me today. No, he might as well. I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to ride the hot streak of Robbie Bales. He knows what I'm talking about. But anyhow, awesome strike, I think, has just been hampered by some wide trips. Has a good run over this course a couple races back, 3 races back when breaking the maiden. Had to overcome a little trouble. You look at this field, Callie, a lot of 1 for 14, 1 for 28. I mean, they knock on the door. They just don't get there. Carrasco riding well. I think this one can kind of settle in, take a little cover, and get it done. I mean, 3 or 4 of these look almost identical when you look at their form, their running styles. That would be Ballyhoo Prince, awesome strike, Lightning Lad, Carloon. They're all the same kind of horse. Who's going to trip it out here? Let's hope it's the 8. Awesome strike, 8, 4, 10, 13. You got a couple tidbits on your horse, which I don't have. Coronova.
Yeah, I like what I see with Coronova. When we kind of flick the switch onto the turf. On top of that, you take a look at these dirt efforts. This horse is one-paced on the turf, let alone doing anything with any kind of turn of foot on the dirt. So I think I like the way Angel Cruz fits this particular horse on the turf specifically. And on top of that, having 2 wins yesterday, he's going to be a little bit on a roll today. So there I have it with Coronova on top.
Yeah, I think Coronova will set up shop and get the jump on my selections in here, because it looks like the road's going to go through the 6-horse Cape. I see you later off the claim. Had some early trouble on the dirt. This one's quick. Has shown that speed going 5.5. I think it's right on the engine today. Celtic Sea had a big price on that one last time. Ran big. I don't know. I think this is an underneath type of horse. Cycling back, but that extra 16th of a mile could be a hindrance there. So there you go. There's your opener.
There we have it, 8, 4, 10, 13 for Keith Fusel in race number 1. Race number 2 is a maiden special weight, 5.5 on the turf.
Yeah.
This also starts the early pick 5. Keith, a single.
Pick 4. Yeah, well, 3 out of 4 yesterday. I said the beatdowns just continue. They did okay yesterday, and from a gambling standpoint, and that's the toughest thing. You know, called a nice little pick 3 that paid well in the middle of the card. But anyhow, yeah, but Tarico, see if this one can get done at 3 to 5, Milo. 1, 3, 6, 8 in race 3. We're spreading in there. Good little spread. Kind of that value horse that might slip through the cracks is Slippin' Jimmy, the 8. Race 4, 2, 4, 5, 8. Quality field there, other than for the 3-year-olds and up, going a flat mile. I like that race a lot. And race 5 with the 1, 3, and 10, we've got video of Holy Moly. King Cove going to be troublesome in there as well. Golden Salute is your value shot in the 5th. $24 that early pick 4.
There he goes. Keith gives it to us, and it starts here in this maiden special weight, 5.5 on the dirt. 3, 4, and 5-year-olds scratching the number 5, the Queen's Mage. You and I both have the number 4 on top. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tarico for Brittany and Sheldon Russell in that first-time outing on October 8th.
Yeah, well meant into a horse, I think, Vinco, Cal, that had run well first time. Delacour comes back and gets the job done on October the 8th. Tarico looked like a winner here on the turn. Circles up about 4 or 5 wide at the quarter pole and just goes flat to the last 1/8 of a mile. Possibly bleeding. I don't know. We've got Lasix on today, but it's a big number. It's a gaudy number for a 3-year-old debuting here at Laurel Park of 78. That was a good field, though, too. I think Tarico, with the additional Lasix, second out. Brittany's very, very tough. Shorter price, I'll take it here. But if you're looking for a little bit of value, maybe the 1 at 8 to 1 on the morning line. Trust me, I am a doctor. I'm gonna give a little pass to that debut.
Sure.
Caught inside, had to sharply check at the 3/8 pole mid-turn. It just kind of went even from there. But you look at the breeding, bottom side, the half brother, 3 for 3 in the money in the dirt. top of a 62, showed some speed. I think it was down at Gulfstream. And Trombetta, a little stat here. Last 3 years, he's 5 for 15, 33%, 7 for 15 in the money, turf to dirt, second career start. Now, he's going to have to kind of really jump up. If you're looking for somebody maybe to upset the apple cart here, take a look at the one. Trust me, I'm a doctor with Caramanos for Trombetta.
Okay, love that play on words. 4162 for race number 2 to kick off that early pick 4. Second leg is race number 3. This is a starter optional 12-5, going 5.5 on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the 7, 11, 13, 14, 15, and 16. The 12 does draw in. Let's talk about the number 3, both of our shared top selection. Putin Online, Sarah Nagel, Georgie Ruiz. Let's take a look at that last effort.
Lots of seconds. I just chased this one. Right here going into the turn. A couple horses out of that race, a little steady. Almost a check, you could call it. This horse just lost a little rhythm.
Yeah.
And then, Cheers for Kittens doing it alone on the front end, takes that pressure. Really gutsy effort by Cheers for Kitten. And right back today on a course, that outer turf we talked about. Speed's not a real issue. It'll keep going. This one's got a little bit of heart as well. But follow Putin Online again, putting online top of the stretch here. Ruiz he just got to wait. He just never gets a super clear path. Has to work through. Just a little hesitant. Doesn't almost, man. That was really tight right there. And then works here between horses to finish up quite well. Only beaten a half length. He's got natural speed. Cheers for Kitten should lead from the inside. I think the horse just to his inside, the 2, doesn't quite have as much speed, and neither does the 4. So I think this one will draft. If he can get through that first quarter unscathed, I think he brings a run and maybe turns the table on Cheers for Kitten. Right back, I'm going to use this one because the speed is proven, the turf form is proven. The way the turf's playing out there, going to be tough to beat. Boss is a pal, has run well with Rodriguez, runs well with everybody. Good effort last time, made a little earlier move. We'll see if he wants to press and make that early move or drop in like he did a few races back when he got the job done over Putting Online. So 3-1-6-8, the 8 slipping Jimmy, price play you don't have in. And second off the claim, and we got a barn change as well. This horse has some really good go-back turf races. Love sprinting, 5 for 12, 10 for 12 in the money. I'll forgive that last race. Just a little bit even with just taking too far back off the pace against some quality horses. We saw Lucci run second here yesterday. Yep. So there's your value at a 12-1 morning line in Slippin' Jimmy and Angel Cruz.
Just a little bit of a late jockey up change up in the number 1 on Cheers for Kitten. Change from Boca to Toledo.
Yeah, he's picked up Toledo, picked up another one for Farrier in the last.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get to that. 3-1-6-8 for Keith in race number 3. Race number 4, that third leg, is an allowance, a mile, 1-turn mile here on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratch in the number 1, Aquar, and you go with the number 2, Super Accelerate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the start in the NASCAR Stakes back on the 29th of July. Yeah,
you're looking at a other than condition. This horse has won the state bred, wins a 3-year-old stake right this day. The start of NASCAR gets in a little trouble at the 5/8, and even had to tap the brakes, Callie, around the turn. Down inside rivals, not a super comfortable run here.
Correct.
And gets put to a ride pretty early. Gets a good move outside, about 3 wide here. I tell you, I think this one, stretching out, it's going to work, and it gets a nice little inviting scene there after angling as Coffee with Chris drifts a little bit. But beat a good horse too in Easy Action. As we know, Coffee with Chris is good. Easy Action came back to run a 92 and just missing down at Churchill and any other. His style, it just looks like he wants to keep going and going and going. Eliminate, just draw a line through the race at Charlestown. You hope that one just didn't take him off his game. We've seen that, but they give him some time to regroup. The works are forward. Balmer Hun on the bottom side has one going, that one going long, had positional speed and carried it at a router ground. I like Super Accelerate back here today with Caramanos.
He's been entered 3 times, once on the 23rd of September and then on the 7th and the 14th of October. All no really reasons. One was a canceled race, one an MTO, and one was an AE. So there we have it. You also go with the number 4 underneath Thunderian, David Jacobson, J-Ron Barbosa. What's not to like about this one, of course, with Jacobson at his strike rate here at Laurel.
He's been a busy boy, hasn't he? Thunderian, 3rd race in 20 days, right back in 7. The only knock I got, Brooklyn Diamonds, yeah, it was a Linda Rice horse. It just won a 14-3 in life, and it was like that to kind of get over that one. But, man, he's been busy. Let's see if any of those recent races, took the starch out of him. I think Damon, I like this little angle, going second off of a break, surface switch, tightened up with that race on the turf. Could be deadly. This horse doesn't need to lead because I think the outside horse, Cloud Music, the road's going to go through him.
Yep.
But look for No Easy Days to set up shop, and he can grind it out. North Highland, if you're looking for a bomb, I like how you've got this one in here, Cal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at this little stat for Hammy. The last 3 years on the dirt, he's 5 for 17, 29%, 11 for 17 in the money, moving claimers to the allowance ranks, ROI close to $3. And this one's getting better and better. Has to take another step forward, but, man, he showed a lot of guts, getting checked mid-stretch, angled out, and kept on going quite well through the wire in his most recent start. So there's a little blow-up shot there in the fourth.
That's what attracted me to North Highland as Keith Fusel goes 2-4-5-8 there in race number 4. The last leg of the early pick 4 is race number 5. This is a maiden claiming 20,000, going a mile and 16th on the turf for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Also starts, of course, the Rainbow Pick 6. I wait for my dramatic single at the end in race number 10. I go 2 deep here in this first leg. I spread a little bit. If you could add a little more, go for it in race number 6. Why not? That's also our jackpot super high 5 race. And race is number 7. 7-Eleven, and then 3 deep in races 8 and 9. A $28.80 ticket. Let's get back to the race that starts that, of course. Just adding to those scratches and scratch the 11, 12, all of the AEs in that race. Let's talk about your top selection. And King Covey, this is in the barn of Robbie Bales. You're going on the Robbie Bales train today. Why not? And with William Humphrey on top.
Yeah, down there for Karen Gotze and Colonial. Back, this horse was in the barn of Robbie Bales and ran a really big try, a big effort, I should say, in debut. Closed up with Humphrey, reunited today, right, with Billy Humphrey. This horse, I'm not worried about the outermost post. This horse will just drop in and settle. It's the run that's got to be timed right. You don't want this guy to make that move just a little too soon, shortening up the 16th of a mile. He's right there with Holy Moly. He's going to be at a video spotlight here in just a second. I think King Covey might be able to edge by late. But let's watch Holy Moly's last race. A brutal early trip here, October the 6th. You're going to see this going into the first turn. The 4-horse a little steady, a little check when caught in tight in between horses.
Not fun.
No.
Not a fun start.
There's got to be some scary moments for you riders out there. I tell you, man, I don't know how you do it. And right here, just a little steady along again.
Gotta accept it.
Yeah, moves up into contention, gets that stalking spot. This horse makes a couple different moves. There's another steady for you if you like that. Around, past the 5/16 pole, looked like it was getting going. A third try to make a run, and does so, Cal, in the mid-stretch, and just can't quite sustain. Draws inside, looking at the race from a speed standpoint or a pace standpoint. This horse should have a relaxed flow today, given a good break. We'll stay the trip here with Carrasco. Just a little bit better price here with King Covey. Hard to split.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Fair enough. 10-1, 3-2 for Keith Fusel in race number 5. You also want to touch on the number 3 Golden Salute, Trombi and Rosado together.
Yeah, real quick. This is just a family of talk show man, so that kind of woke me up in close at the start against a really sharp winner in Code Name. So the blinkers go on. Could be a little bit of a price user here for Trombi. All these horses on the turf been running well. Bad Lineage. Didn't run awful in turf debut for the new connections for James Casey. I thought the horse finished up quite well at Pimlico from working outside of some traffic through the stretch.
As mentioned, Keith Fusel goes 10-1, 3-2 in race number 5, and we will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Saturday's card.
Thoroughbred Racing is taking vital steps to make our sports safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
As we leave from the race of Holy Moly, Olivia's favorite horse of the day, let's go to race number 6, the start of that jackpot super high 5. In this allowance optional claiming 62.5, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the straight 2-year-old filly, scratching the 1 Bell's Blue Bell and the number 12 Leslie's Loot. You and I both go with the number 5 Ronin Goddess. Let's take a look at that effort for Hammy and J-Ron just last time out.
You can't find much more trouble than what this one encounters. earlier on in the month. This was really bad. A little stumble out of the break. Cap Classique is going to run off by 7 when it's all said and done. But the trip that Ronan Goddess gets, the 2-horse, is just really abysmal from the 5/16 pole. No fault. It's just bad luck. And this horse makes that run up the inside. You've got 4 of them across the track. There's Cap Classique kind of just getting the perfect trip, outermost flow. Top of the stretch, just hemmed in for life. Check, steady, 3/16 pole to deep stretch. Finally gets out. And what really caught my eye, besides the finish, was even the gallop out as well. This horse had a lot of energy. She was ready to roll, set up. I think this race would have been much closer if she had a cleaner trip. And both of those horses, I think, were going turf to dirt, and we liked them that day. They showed, within the family, they were probably going to transfer that form to the main track, and they did not disappoint. So I think she comes out of a really good race behind a good winner there. Clean trip today, I think, gets it done. There's plenty of speed to set things up in here. A little bit of the speed comes out with the 12, Leslie's Loot. I think you've got to take a close look at Kissed by an Angel. Blinkers went on, second off the claim, and that Marilyn Million Lassie, and ran really well in a big field count. Numbers going in the right direction, the right kind of running style for what I think she's going to see in front of her in this race. That one's really moved up. Claim there for 12.5. The 8, Fainer's Fillets, will be part of the flow. I thought had a tougher trip, caught 3 deep in that Cap Classique Roman Goddess race. Just, a little bit of a fizzle, but she's going to have to deal with Chublin to the outside. Sneaky long shot. You got a 30-1 line. Mama's Lino in there as well. She's run pretty good both starts. She got in trouble at Timonium. She had to kind of work out of a tight spot against a well-meant first-time starter at Pimlico and just chugged on. Went through the wire kind of handily. Numbers a little bit lacking, but talent, it looks like it's there.
Yes, and that's what I saw when I saw Mama's Lino in this race. Just a quick update, a late scratch in this race. Race number 6, the 7 Foxy Curl, is an out.
All right,
is a scratch. So there we have it. Keith Fusel goes 5-10-8-6 there in race number 6. Race number 7 is an allowance optional claiming 62.5 to kick off this late pick for a mile and 16th on the turf for the 2-year-olds. And let's talk about the scratch in the 5 and the 12, but let's talk further about your top selection in the number 8, your value play of the day, Street Rockin', Lynn Ashby, Charlie Marquez.
Maybe a touch of a reach, but, I think this is right. I think Brian's got this one right. 8-1 looks good to me. I'll take it. Had some issues around the turn in that maiden breaking score here over this turf course. A little trouble at the 3/8 pole. And then kind of had to weave through some traffic through the stretch. I like the way this one leveled off the last 16th of a mile. Has the back experience going long at Colonial. I think this horse is benefiting, moving in the right direction for training Lynn Ashby. Street Rockin' gives me a little bit more value here in race 7. I guess the horses to beat are probably the 2 Wine Collector and the 7 Massif. Video of Massif and Wine Collector on September the 30th out of the Laurel Futurity. And I tell you, this is a race Air Recruit just airs, and we'll get a little bit of info on that one later on, right, with her. But, you're going to see this twice today, it looks like. But Wine Collector did all the chasing. Now, the internals weren't super strong, made a good bid, and keeps on well. But watch there, mid-stretch, 7-horse, purplish colors, white and blue, whatever you want to call it, had to steady and check, works between, and, finishes up quite well. Gave up a lot into a slower flow. I mean, granted, turf had a little bit more give to it that particular day. But Massif, I think, no issues with the distance. Going to be tough here from the back of the pack. 8-7-2, 11 Derbyness has done nothing wrong here. The blinkers going interesting enough after the win. And as a rider, what do you think of that? Is that sometimes where the rider comes off and say, hey, you still may, even though we won the race, there's some things here that this horse needs.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why
you're going for listen, especially if you're taking, especially first time against winners, you want to get, and especially Jamie Rodriguez. And I talked about this a little bit just as riders. You want to, the goal sometimes is to win the race, but other than that, the goal is to get the best out of the horse, and that's what Jamie Rodriguez probably saw in that last time effort. So
and then needed the blinkers.
Yes, needed the blinkers. Absolutely.
Okay.
So there we have it. 8-7-2-11 for the 7th race for Keith Fusel. Race number 8 is an allowance going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the girls 3 and up. No scratches here. Let's talk about your number 8 on top in Berzina for, of course, Kieran McGee. Javian Toledo gets the call on this one. Just take away some of these races, just really solid contender overall.
Yeah, her races have been pretty steady She's got that one blowout win where she got the lead back in April, whistled with a big number. She brings that one back. It's all she wrote. I looked at this race a long time this morning. I like her positioning where she's drawn. She's been in some really quicker flows. I think with a clean break, Toledo can just kind of go ahead and spy that speed. She showed a lot of heart last time when altering out through the stretch and kept on to get the place. So if she can get relaxed a little bit, say 2 or 3 wide just off these leaders, I think she stays the trip. And again, here's a horse we're looking at 6-1. Looks like a fair shot there for Kieran McGee and owner Helen Marshall. They've teamed up for a lot of wins here over the last few years.
Let's talk about the number 4 in Nymph for Grand Motion, Jamie Rodriguez. You also have another Keith Fustel special stat on this one here today.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we should have run the hammy stat as that big value play. But this one works. Smaller sample, 3 for 13, 23%. 8 for 13 in the money is Grand Motion. The last 3 years on the dirt with the 4-year-olds and up, coming off of this long layoff, 180-day or more. ROI is 351. This horse, she flashed a lot of ability. She ran fast her first 2 tries at Delaware, going back July of 22, then September. Hiccup, stumbled, steadied and rushed up, had no chance. But the race against Escape Fun was in really good form. That kind of triggered that win there to 2 more wins for her. So she's back. She's got speed. The stat works. Steady works going into this. Going to be part of this flow, which I think is going to be fairly honest. I respect here the 4 for Grand Motion off of time. The 6, Northern Glow, had dead aim, looked like a winner, but that outer trip might have just taken a little bit out of that run. I think Sheldon, again, it's a situation where if he can save some ground, sit in behind some horses, really kind of get her focus, she'll bring a sharper run here today and sustain it a little bit better. Bella Patina has not run bad at all the last few. There's another 20-1 morning line that can definitely pose a threat if things heat up on the front end.
That's going to be an exciting race in race number 8, 8, 4, 6, 7 for Keith Fustel there. Race number 9 is another allowance, going a 1 mile on the turf here for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the 8, 11, and 13. You go with the number 6 on top, Land Biscuit in the barn of Bruce Brown. J-Ron Barbosa gets the call for this one.
Land Biscuit, great name. Some good biscuits the other day. Like my brother-in-law Derek
Tell me
was up
about
in town. Oh, he cooked up some great biscuits for breakfast. It was awesome. I never get treated like that, but it
What
took
do you
him to
usually
come
put
up
in?
all those a bowl of cereal or something like that. I don't get too much, but no. Land Biscuit has run very well. Last couple races, basically all his races on the page look pretty good. He's run for everybody. He's changed hands multiple times. It's kind of like Awesome Strike earlier in the card. The outer trips have kind of made this run fizzle a little bit, but he's run against the right kind. I looked at some of these fields. They were good. A couple of these horses have run in like 2 other thans, stakes type of horses in that last race at Aqueduct. So that's a quality field. Like Barbosa riding, I like this draw middle of the pack. Again, we'll be able to save some ground, and I think you're going to see a better finish out of Land Biscuit. There's some flow. You got to pay attention to Crisper as well, your top selection here at 6-1 on the line.
Let's take a look at that run from Crisper in the Lebanon Valley Stakes over at Penn National. But today gets Tim Woolley, Charlie Marquez.
Yeah, and Charlie, he knows this guy. He's given some good rides. This horse has run some big races, has run well over this turf course in allowance company. Crisper, saved ground, and just closed up very nicely here. You Must Chill has kind of dropped into the ranks, right, recently last couple, but it's still run well. But Crisper is going to bring a run, no doubt about it, in here, because I think the flow is going to be honest. You've got some sharper horses. Code Name was really good last time, put it all together, and there's breeding to suggest this horse could handle the stretch out. 6'9", 3'7". Pavoni has definitely improved since being gelded. That's the key there. Got the flow last time, and I think we'll get it today.
And there we have it. As Keith Fustel said, 6'9", 3'7", in race number 9. And our finale for Saturday here is a maiden claiming 20,000, going a 1 mile on the dirt. So that's a 1-turn mile over here at Laurel Park for these 2-year-olds. Keith, you go with the number 6 on top. Eyes 11, of course, for Carlos Mancia. Georgie gets the call back on this one.
Yeah, I think the stretch out's going to work. 2 sprints, the route. I like this move here. It just caught a little faster flow. He just never really got going. I think things are going to be a little bit more relaxed. Simon's Choice, I think, is going to be the horse to catch, no doubt, from the outside. Would not surprise me if he can take him wire to wire. But this is the right move. You're looking at the bottom side, even the top side. Yes, distance. Those siblings had no issue with going around of ground. So 6-8-2-1. I think the 2 improves second off the break. And the 1, you've got Lynn Eber. We've seen her strike with this kind of move before.
Yep.
With the firsters going a mile. The only knock is the full sib just never really got close in a few dirt starts. This one might be a different story here today.
We'll see what we've got going into the finale here for Laurel Park on Saturday. Let's dive into that lightning round. To touch up on, Keith, your best bet value play, let's start with your best bet in race number 6, Ronan Goddess.
We showed you the video.
Of course.
Lengths and lengths of trouble.
Yes.
You know, I think anywhere close to that race with a clean trip, I think is going to be able to kind of roll by late against this group. She could have a little bit, and she's got some talent. Moving forward, I think she could really steadily improve and be kind of a stakes type. We'll see. We'll see.
And your value play of the day is in race number 7 on the number 8 Street Rockin' for Lynn Ashby, and Charlie Marquez gets the call.
Yeah, back out to a route of ground, but showed a lot of moxie, kind of overcoming that trouble in the turn, going 5.5, and then having some traffic issues through the stretch. But finished up very good. I think that race back at Colonial debut is going to benefit her. She gets the jump on some of these other horses. I think Massif, who's going to be the favorite in there. So take a little shot there with the Lynn Ashby trainee.
Somebody else who's taking a shot is going to be our Laurel Futurity Stakes winner, Air Recruit for Arnaud Delacour, as we kind of take a look at that highlight reel of that Laurel Futurity win, headed to the Breeders' Cup for the juvenile turf at Santa Anita for $1 million.
Wow, I haven't had a chance to really look closely at that race. Maybe
Sure.
you have.
Have
Cal?
not yet.
Okay, so I don't know how it really set up, but this was coming off the race at Colonial, if I'm not mistaken, stretching out. That was a stat for these younger horses, sprint the route for Delacour that was working very, very well. And yeah,
Smooth like butter.
She just cruised here. A little bit. The ground might be a little bit firmer out there at Santa Anita, but I think she's going to handle it. And she kind of goes away with some gusto here through the final 1/8 of a mile. So yeah, rooting for any of these horses that kind of made their way through the Mid-Atlantic, especially here Laurel and Pimlico, if they're involved in that Breeders' Cup. Yeah, a little sentimental value there for Air Recruit.
Scheduled to go on to California tomorrow morning. On Sunday morning, Delacour has been happy with everything.
Okay.
Just really nice lead up and nice journey to get to BC Juvenile Turf at 2023. So best of luck to them as they ship out. Safe travels for Air Recruit over to California. But we're going to take it back to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches here on Saturday's card.
You got it. Good luck.